Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Thoughts of a Sports Fan. Happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there. Canada Day was a few days ago, and I wanted to upload a video then. I thought about uploading a Hockey Canada video, but I couldn't really think of any ideas. So if you want to see Hockey Canada video, make sure to tell me in the comments and give me some ideas for what I should do in Hockey Canada. But for today, we are talking about the three teams you see on screen: the New Jersey Devils, Detroit Red Wings, and Colorado Avalanche. And here's what we're going to be doing with them today. So these three teams, from a period from basically the 94-95 NHL season to the 2003-2004 NHL season, dominated the league. Out of all those seasons that I said and in between, there have only been two seasons where one of these teams didn't have the Stanley Cup. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put them up in a bit of a competition to see who the best team of this era was. So basically, we got 3 rounds. Round 1, how many cups they won during this era. They get 1 point for each. Round 2, we're going to see how many games they lost and subtract that from the possible points. And round 4, we're going to see how difficult their opponent is. So if they were in the top 4 in their conference, they're considered a difficult opponent, and you get 1 point. So let's begin. So I already took the time to figure out how many they each won. The Avs won 2 Stanley Cups, the 1996 Stanley Cup, and the 2001 Stanley Cup. And the Wings and Devils each have 3. Wings won 97, 98, and 2002 Stanley Cups. And the Devils won the 95, 2000, and 2003 Stanley Cup. So we'll move on to round 2 and figuring out. So you need to win 16 games to win the Stanley Cup, which means 16 times 2, that's 32. 16 times 3, that's 48. What we're going to do is we're going to see how many games each of these teams lost in that time and subtract it from the number of wins, and the difference will be how much the points teams get. So we'll start with Colorado, and they lost 2 to Vancouver, 2 to Chicago, 2 to Detroit, and none to Florida. So that's 6 so far, and we go to 2001. They have 6 points to be taken away so far, and they lost none to Vancouver, 3 to Los Angeles, I'll put them at 9, 1 to St. Louis, I'll put them at 10, and then 3 to New Jersey. So that's 13 losses. So we're going to take 13, put it over 32. We'll head to the calculator over here, and 32 minus 13 equals 19. So the Avs for this round will be getting 19 points. The Detroit Red Wings, 48 wins is what they needed for 3 Stanley Cups. Let's go through them and see how many games they lost. This first one, they're down in the West right now. They lost 2 to St. Louis, none to Anaheim, 2 to Colorado, and none to Philadelphia. So that'll give them 4 so far to be taken away. 1998, they lost 2 to Phoenix. That'll put them at 6 to be taken away. 2 to St. Louis, that'll put them at 8 to be taken away. 2 to Dallas, that'll put them at 10 to be taken away, and none to Washington. So they're at 10 so far in points that will be taken away from them. And finally, we got 2 to Vancouver, that'll put them at 12. 1 to St. Louis, putting them at 13 to be taken. 3 to Colorado, that'll put them at 16 to be taken, and 1 to Carolina. So that's 17 points are going to be taken away from Detroit. So we go over to our calculator, and do 48 minus 17, and we get 31. So with that total points the Red Wings will be receiving for this round is 31 points. 31 out of 48 possible points were scored, so that was pretty good. And let's finally move on to the New Jersey Devils. We'll start with their 95 Cup. They lost 1 to Boston, 1 to Pittsburgh, 2 to Philadelphia, and none to Detroit. So I'll put them at 4 so far to be taken away. We go to the 2000 Stanley Cup playoffs. They lost none to Florida, 2 to Toronto. That'll put them at 6 to be taken away. 2 to Philadelphia. That'll put them at 9 to be taken away. 3 to Philadelphia. I think I said 2, so I'll put them at 9 to be taken away. And 2 to Dallas. That'll put them 11 to be taken away. And we'll go to our final Stanley Cup, the 2003 Stanley Cup playoffs. So far, they have 11 points that can be taken away from them. Lost 1 to Boston. That's 12 points to be taken away. 1 to Tampa Bay. That's 13 points to be taken away. 1 to Ottawa. That's 16 points to be 3 to Ottawa, that's 16 points to be taken away, and 3 to Anaheim, that's 19 points in total of those 48 games, 19 losses in 48 games. So we go to our calculator here. 48 minus 19, and we get 29. That's going to be 29 points that round for the New Jersey Devils. And finally, how difficult was their opponent? You get 1 point for every top 4 seeded team in your conference, in the conference that you beat, and no points for every bottom 4 seeded team in the conference that you beat. So let's kick this thing off. We're going to start with Colorado's 96 Cup and see how difficult their opponents were. They will get no points against Vancouver. They will get a point against Chicago, a point against Detroit, and a point against Florida. So that's 3 points for the Avs so far. Let's go all the way to their other cup, the 2001 Cup. So they have 3 points to be added to their score. We're going to start, where are they? There they are. So none against Vancouver, none for Los Angeles, 1 for St. Louis, that's 4, and 1 for New Jersey. So in total for this round, the Avs are getting 5 points. Let's move on to the Detroit Red Wings. They're going to start with the 1997 Stanley Cup playoffs. Not going to get a point against St. Louis. Going to get a point against Anaheim, that's 1 point. A point against Colorado, that's 2 points. And a point against Philadelphia, that's 3 points. Going to the 98 playoffs now. We got 3 points so far to this. None against Arizona. 1 against St. Louis. 1 against Dallas. And 1 against Washington. That'll put them at 6 points. And finally, the 2002 Stanley Cup playoffs. They got 6 points gained so far. Oh my gosh, there they are. None against Vancouver, 1 against St. Louis to make them 7 points, 1 against Colorado, that'll put them at 8 points, and 1 against the Carolina Hurricanes. So in total, that will give the Detroit Red Wings 9 points for this round of scoring. And we'll move on to our final team, the New Jersey Devils. 1995 Stanley Cup. Devils are here. They get a point against Boston, point against Pittsburgh, point against Philadelphia, and a point against Detroit. So that'll put them with 4 points so far in a clean sweep in 2000. Hopefully they can keep the trend going. No points against Florida, a point against Toronto, a point against Philadelphia, and a point against Dallas. That'll put them at 7 points so far, and we move to the 2003 Stanley Cup playoffs. 7 points to be added to their score. Let's see if they can up that. They're up here. None against Boston. 1 against Tampa. That'll make them at 8. 1 against Ottawa puts them at 9, and none against Anaheim. So they'll tie with Detroit this round for 9 points. And let's tally up the final scores. So the Avs total will get 21. We'll get 26 points for their total. The Wings will get, that's 34, and then 35, 36, 43 points. Great showing from the Wings. They'll get 43 points out of that. And finally, the New Jersey Devils will get 32 there. And then 41 points, I believe. Hold on, let me retally that just to make sure. So it's Avs are already out. The Wings with 3, that's 34, add on 9, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 43 points for the Wings again. And then the Devils will get 29, 30, 31, 32, and then plus 9 is, yep, the Devils will get 41. So they lose by 2 points, which means our winner and the best team of this era, according to our scoring system, is the Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings are the best team during this era based on our competition. They won our competition. So that's basically it for today. Just wanted to see if I could try with my own point system to figure out who is the best team. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope you're having a good day, and make sure to comment back down below ideas for that Hockey Canada video, and if you want to see it. And I think that is going to be it for today, you guys. I will see you all in the next one.